Wait, so what exactly did he say? I'm having a hard time picturing this.
You know how intense Pastor Reynolds can be, but this was on another level. I just finished sharing, the thing I've been struggling with. It was supposed to be a private session after the Bible study, just me and him.
Yeah, the confession. You were brave for even doing that, man.
Thanks. Anyway, I finished, and there was this long, awkward silence. Then he just stares at me. And he says, completely deadpan, "This is not a matter for prayer, Liam. This is a matter for the authorities."
Okay, so he thinks it's serious enough to involve the police. That's already a huge reaction. But where does the usher part come in?
I started to panic, right? I tried to stand up, thinking I could just leave. And he literally raises his hand, stops me, and picks up his phone. He calls someone, I'm assuming the head usher, Mark, and speaks in this low, official tone. He says, and I quote, "Mark, I need you and 2 others to come to my office immediately. You are to ensure Mr. Davies does not leave this room. Hold him down, if necessary, until the proper personnel from the police station arrive."
Hold you down? Liam, that's kidnapping. That's not a religious act, that's an extreme misuse of power and a threat of physical force. You're telling me he instructed the ushers, the guys who hand out bulletins, to physically restrain you?
I know. I was sitting there, frozen, watching the door. Thankfully, they must have been tied up with something else, or maybe Mark questioned the order, because I heard shuffling. Then a minute later, the pastor got a text, frowned, and looked back at me.
So they didn't show up?
No. I think he realized he'd gone too far, or maybe he was bluffing. He just sighed, like I was the inconvenience, and said, "I will handle this another way, Liam. Now, go home." I got out of there so fast, I didn't even grab my jacket.
That is completely unacceptable. That's a dangerous escalation, and it sounds like an abuse of his authority. Are you okay? You need to seriously think about what you want to do next. That's not how a spiritual leader should ever respond.
Honestly, no, Maya. I'm not okay. I feel violated. I went there seeking guidance and forgiveness, and instead, I was threatened with public humiliation and physical restraint by the very people I am supposed to trust in that building. It completely twisted what I was trying to do.
Of course you feel violated. It was a breach of trust on every level. The idea that a spiritual confession could turn into an involuntary police detention, orchestrated by lay members of the church. That is horrifying, Liam. What are you going to do now? Are you going back?
Absolutely not. I can't. Every time I think about that office, I picture Mark and those other guys holding me down on the carpet. It makes me sick. My first instinct was to just never mention it to anyone and pretend it didn't happen, but I couldn't keep that in.
I'm glad you told me. You need to talk about this. Look, setting aside the emotional trauma for a second, we have to address the seriousness of his actions. If the pastor genuinely believed you committed a serious crime, he could have, and probably should have, contacted the police directly and followed the law. But instructing people who are not law enforcement to use force against you is reckless and crosses a legal line.
I don't know what to do. Should I report him?
That's a huge decision, and you don't have to make it right now. But here are a few things to consider, based purely on your safety and well-being. 1. Cut contact. Block his number and any church members you feel might relay information back to him. You need space. 2. Professional support. Consider talking to a therapist or counselor who can help you process the trauma and betrayal. This is a very heavy burden to carry alone. 3. Legal consultation. Optional. You could speak with a lawyer just to understand your rights regarding false imprisonment or assault, even if you never choose to press charges. Knowledge is power here. 4. Church leadership. If the church has any higher regional or denominational body, you might consider reporting the incident to them, focusing on the pastor's extreme misuse of authority.
The thought of dealing with all that, it's exhausting. I just wanted to feel better about myself.
I know. And I'm so sorry that what was supposed to be a step towards healing turned into this nightmare. Focus on feeling safe right now. Let's finish our coffee, then maybe we can go for a walk and just clear your head. The church and that pastor do not define your journey or your worth.
Thanks, Maya. I really needed to hear that.
Always, man. Always. So, walk first, then maybe we grab some pizza? What does your gut tell you is the most immediate, critical step you need to take for yourself right now?
I have to go and think first. I will get back to you soon.
Okay then, good luck.